Fuji go higher. Stopping in, we been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight. Stopping in, we been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight.
And we're back. That was for the cues over there. Welcome, everybody. It is Saturday, March 5th. Welcome to episode 32 of the Heavyweight Bros podcast. I am your host, as always, the 5XL assassin, the diabolical diabetic, your boy, the big nasty. And to my right is the high yellow hitman, the coach Buck, the freaking deacon, my man, Uncle Raisin. What's going on, big fella? How you doing?
Why should I don't even want to know.
Because you were clearly trying to talk over me and I was trying to give you the space to do so.
Oh, okay. No, I'm doing good, man. It was a good week, man. My Friday was awesome. You know what I mean? And it all rolled into pod day. You know how I feel about pod day. So I'm doing fabulous, man. What about you?
It was a solid week too. Like I feel like I feel like this week went by dumb fast.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. Like there was a point and I was just like, damn, man. I was like, tomorrow on Wednesday, and I was like, wait, it's the end of Thursday? Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's get it. Autopilot.
Word.
That's
Word.
That's the phrase on that. So like, yeah, it's been pretty solid. It's like I feel like my time is being utilized better now. So it's like, yeah, it's good. Solid week. I'm with it.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I don't know if we want to jump right into some topics. Anything going on that was on your mind? Anything?
No,
what's up with the stick though? What's up with the stick right now? Because I don't know if you like
I love
grandpa,
finding,
if you're Yoda, if you're a drum major, like
I don't know about you, but like I feel like I always find things like I don't say I'm a hoarder, which is definitely like my biological father's thing is like he's a hoarder.
Okay.
And it's like, but what I think is like I'm always like, why are you throwing that away? You could use this as something else. And it's like I don't know what this was supposed to be for. And I was like, this is a good holding stick. Or if like if you needed to, you need to go reach something or you need to smack something. So it's like now it's here. I feel like
to tell you what that belonged to.
What did it belong to? Is it something gross?
No, it's not something gross. So when we moved into this house, like there's a lot of like appliances and stuff left, which were like the washer and dryer. But it was a older family that lived here, and they didn't use the dryer for some things, and they had one of them old school wooden fold up racks that you hang clothes on.
Yeah.
And the boys was just like, it looks like trash, and they broke it apart, and it's like one of the things that
it's a good like it's solid all the way through. It's like you don't never be like back in like when you used to go to like the park or like you go to Echoes and be like, hey,
that's a good
stick right there. Like make sure somebody pick that stick up. Like I
do so many different things.
That's a good stick.
You got it, man. I'll wrap it in the color that you like. We can put Big Nasty on it.
Like Donatello a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like put the rabbit up here.
Little baby bow staff.
It's just funny though, because like as soon as the music started, like I wasn't planning on it, but I was like, yeah, like them cute, the shoulders rolling. Like
we became one with it.
Like yeah, it was just natural. Like I felt like I was always meant for that.
It looked natural.
Oh, natural.
All right.
Are you gonna take this sip or you're not gonna take this sip?
I'm trying to. I'm trying not to choke.
So I guess like while he's taking this sip, I was gonna say the stick. We say we gotta give a shout out to our boy G Head over there on IG and Etsy at Custom Merch. You know what I mean? Hit him up. Hit that promo code Heavyweight Bros, spelled HW, the number 8 BROS, to save you 20%. Oh, well, 20%. Let me not put that out there. Save you 10% off your order because the more you spend,
the more you save.
And then also give another shout out to a man that's doing the intro music, our boy Yan Kang over here. You know what I'm saying? You can find him over there at IG, Twitter, SoundCloud. And it's always Young King. Got to show that boy some love. We always out here showing love. We just cleaned up over here, bro. We just cleaned up. Like, why are you like this, man? If you've been married for 16 years and this is how you treat things, like, we're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
But
almost,
at first,
almost 17.
Let's start off with the digging in the crates.
No diggity, no doubt. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to be drinking so much of the juice. It's just really smacking today.
I know. I've been trying not to drink it because this joint looks so delectable.
What you do, it's going to be over. I'm telling you, what you do, it's going to be over. All right, so we don't have much for digging in the crates, but I felt like this is something we need to talk about because there's a lot of intricate pieces. I feel like it's going to develop into more, and it's just, I don't know, it's somewhat hilarious to me.
Okay.
But Game recently was on Drink Champs, and on Drink Champs, he disclosed to Nori that he felt like Kanye has done more for him and his career in the last 2 weeks that Dre has done his entire career, because he signed with Aftermath in 2003, 2004.
Yeah, something like that. I remember the documentary dropped in like 04.
That's was the album, yes, and
the 4 times platinum documentary.
Right. So it's 18 years later. You're saying that, well, yeah, 18 years later. No, 19 now. If it's 2003, 18 if it's 2004, whatever. You're saying that Ye has done more in 2 weeks than Dre has done for you in 18 years, so to speak. Which instantly triggered 50 to get his Twitter fingers going. You know what I mean? And he was just like, "Hey, hun," which I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be like, "Huh," but he had an N in there. So I don't know. Maybe he did that hilariously. I don't know. 50 does stuff to troll people, but he was like, "This is what you talking about?" And he posted an old picture of Ye and Game in the game. It was like a super old picture. So I didn't understand the context of it.
Was it from the? I remember like they used to have the song "The Wouldn't Get Far." The rap star.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if it's from that.
Maybe. But then the game, he doesn't wait and instantly was like, "Do you really want to get into this? Because the last time we did, your whole clothing line went to shambles. Your rap career folded, and now you're in TV." So I get 2 things from this. Dre has not said anything that I know of,
and he's not going to.
He's not going to. He's like, hey,
the brother's still working on the detox.
Right.
Time for this.
So the underlying factors for me are a couple things. I feel like every time the game releases new music, this is what he does in some shape, form, or fashion. He does something for the shock value to be like, I got to get these numbers up. I got to get people listening to this music. I got to make sure that, like, if I'm dropping an album soon, I have to be ready. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's always doing something to get everybody back into like what's going on for the game, and then the album drops and it's lackluster, and then we go right back to what we're doing. Yes, Ye did do something great for you, because the dopest song on their album is probably going to be the Easy song featuring Kanye West.
Did you see the video?
I did. This video was super creepy.
Wild, bro.
The video was super creepy. It's kind of had a demonic feel to him.
Kinda.
He was burying the homie Skeet, who was supposed to be Pete Davidson. I was like,
"You're doing a lot, bro."
I
was like Kanye, like you're doing a lot.
You're doing a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot. So I was just like, I don't know. It was kind of weird. And I know the game was salty about not being one of the people that was in the halftime show, considering it was like, felt like a whole West Coast thing, but it really wasn't, because Mary J was there, 50 was there, so it's not a whole West Coast thing. So I don't understand why you felt like you had to be there. You're not better than Kendrick, so like what obligation was there for you to have to be there? Like, I don't know what your ties are with Jay-Z, where he's like, the game got to be in this too. Like, so.
I mean, it seemed like it was, the halftime show was more or less Dr. Dre and friends. So it's like people who are connected to Dr. Dre, and it's like you've made it very clear for quite some time that you don't want to be connected to Dr. Dre. So it's like, don't be surprised when you don't come to something that you didn't want to be a part of, bro. Like,
fam, you ain't talked to me in years, and I'm mad that I didn't invite you to the barbecue. Like, what's going on? Yes, the barbecue was fire. Yes, we had a great time. I know you saw some pictures, and everybody's talking about it. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
I mean, I feel like this all could be summed up in this one feeling that I've always had about the game. The game's a hoe ass nigga. He always has been. He's always been a hoe. Like, am I wrong? Like, first of all, like in your raps, like all you do is name drop. And then it's like it's like, what is he, like 6'4"?
Y'all better not come to my funeral with that fake stuff.
I feel like that's like he's like what, 6'4"? He's a pretty big dude, right? Like, if I remember correctly. So it's like, it's almost like the 50 Cent thing. It's like, I'm gonna talk trash, but then like the second that you say something, I'm gonna puff my chest out because it's like, I'm bigger than you. And it's like he's always like degraded women. He's always degraded like people who are just like anything different than like what he's doing. He's like, yeah, that shit's whack. That's dumb. That's this. That's that. And it's just like, he's corny, bro. And it's like, it sucks because like the music for the most part is pretty quality. But it's like he lets his homeness get in the way of his his success. And it's like, your homeness is one of the reasons why you weren't still connected to Dr. Dre doing halftime shows with Dr. Dre.
I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything to say. I think you dropped the bomb on that joint.
Before are we about to get off this topic?
Yeah.
Could I just say, last night I rewatched, because I had to know. I was like, was this the best Super Bowl halftime of all time? And I was like, the best one. What were you about to say? Which one it is?
No.
Or should I say of recent memory?
Prince.
Okay, I said recent memory. So like maybe like the last 10, 15 years.
Oh.
So I look back and on the
Isn't
very
it-
first video, 2 years ago, Super Bowl, J-Lo and Shakira. That joint is up there, bro.
Okay.
That joint is.
Okay.
I was like, yo, this is way better than
Is
the.
Janet and 10
like,
years?
That's like 2002, 2003.
Man, that was that long ago?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's when Justin Timberlake went solo with Justified and pulled the titties out.
And then threw Janet under the bus.
Yeah, and I was like,
it's like, just so you know, this is what we do.
he's like,
yeah,
bye.
not to take a I like that.
I was like, I really got to get this joke in before he starts talking. I was like,
oh man, yeah, I it was a great show. The best, I don't know, like
I'm telling you, like, yo, when you
the
get a
best
chance,
ever.
when you get a chance, rewatch that Shakira J-Lo one.
Mhm.
Like, yo, they went stupid that entire time. I was like, yeah, this is the one. I was like, this is like, and then like Bad Bunny and J Balvin came out, and I was like, and they didn't speak not one lick of English. I was like,
And it
look at them.
still live.
I was like, yo, this joint was jumping from start to finish. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Low key, Shakira kind of bodied J-Lo in the performance too. Like Shakira went first.
Not hard.
Wow, never disrespecting Jenny from the block. See now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call a perpetrator.
Yo, this is gonna be funny. You can't get rid of that. It's gonna. The next time I post something, I'll have
This thing has been here forever, and it's like every
time.
time before we start, like I drop it, and it's like for today, I was like, no.
The next post is gonna be like, shout out to the stick.
It's about to have its own IG, like, heavyweight stick. Like,
What?
get it lit with that.
All right, we off
stick.
of this. All right, let's get into the Insomnia Hour.
Wake me up inside.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Save me.
Save me from the nothing inside.
Yeah.
What?
I can't get over it.
I don't know why I didn't. He was like, wake me up.
I would have had to snatch it from you. I didn't have enough time.
Got two weapons.
This juice has me distracted, bro. I'm
Two
telling you. Yeah. All right, we moving on.
Sorry.
This is so distracting.
I'm sorry.
We
You
apologize.
keep bringing attention to it. Like I'm just being.
I'm sorry. My attention is it's distracted.
Your attention
Right.
is deficit.
So we got to. Yeah, that's terrible. So we have a couple finales,
Yes, we did.
a couple new episodes,
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
and a new. Oh man, here we go. All right, so let's get that out the way first.
Okay.
There's a new episode of Bel Air. Did you watch it?
Yeah, man. That girl was fire.
What was fire about it?
Like the way that like they addressed Ashley's.
So we're gonna keep it
So,
moving.
like,
We're gonna keep
yo.
it moving because Ashley wasn't even in this episode. His brother's tripping, man.
It
His
was.
brother's tripping, man.
Because this episode
Uh-huh.
was all about Lisa and her journey and her benefit that she was throwing, or the for her parents. And it's just like, then her relationship with Carlton and Will.
Okay, who did she really not like in the episode?
Viv. I was reaching for strong.
Yeah, to be honest with you, your first couple of shots was good. But I knew that joint was faltering. I knew.
I just found out like 10 minutes before this episode.
Strike one.
Because we cannot hammer out like what days do these episodes come out? I think it's Sunday.
Thursday.
So it is Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I only know because I remember the last time we recorded was on a Thursday, so I was like, let me check and see, and it was out there. All right, Snowfall had a new episode out.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have anything to say about the Bel Air episode?
No, I'm not gonna talk
Why
about
are
it.
you getting all aggressive? Like
We're not gonna talk about it if you didn't watch it.
Like, you getting mad aggressive?
We're not gonna talk about it if you didn't watch it.
You're like, yo, Snowfall out. Like my Franklin Saint.
Okay. Yeah. We know who's in the show. Did you watch it?
Yeah. It's Snowfall. How did I not watch it?
Strike two. Brother's tripping out here.
Snowfall, baby.
Brother's trip. So what if I told you I ain't watched Euphoria finale?
I mean, but that was your assignment, was to watch the Euphoria finale.
These are always assignments.
This is true. I mean,
that's fine. We're gonna go to Kanye first, and we'll go to Euphoria. I'll save you some time. Okay. All right. So the Genius finale. You got 2 strikes though. This is terrible. So Genius finale came out, 3rd episode.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna have a 3rd strike, and I'm gonna knock all these joints off the park.
Okay.
It's like Mark Jackson said about LeBron's wife.
Playing stickball.
I know you've seen that one. That's one of my favorite clips every time it comes back up. When he's talking about like Savannah James during a game. Like Mark Jackson is like, Savannah James is a high quality woman, and I knock it out the park. And I'm like, brother, you said this during a live broadcast, and LeBron hasn't put hands on you. So I'd knock her out the park.
LeBron ain't about them hands, bro. Cut it out, man. It ain't about them hands. Cut it out.
That brother had Delonte West like on the side of the road. Like he could pull some strings.
Nah, I feel like he's Uncle Phil and Jeffrey. Jeffrey puts all the work in.
That's okay.
It's not.
That means, but it's small.
I guess so.
Not everybody's Matt Barnes because Matt Barnes got nothing to lose.
You better not mess with that brother, Matty Barnes.
I'll mess with Matt Barnes. Back up, brother. I don't care what
I feel like he the type that's gonna hit you with that Detroit self-defense and be like, I ain't worried about this. But yeah, so Genius episode came out. It didn't disappoint.
It did not.
It did not disappoint.
The first 25 minutes were rough, bro.
Yeah.
Rough. I was like, man, this how we started?
Right. I mean, you knew it had to happen though.
Of course.
You knew it had to happen. So that was the part of the documentary I was not looking forward to because I knew what it was. But what I did also notice that like there was a lot of validation for Kanye in this episode. Like for like people saying, oh, he was wilding with this, he was wilding with that. And then there was some.
He was.
Yeah, he was. But then there were some people who were just like, you know what? In the end game, like, what can you really say? Like, he said he was going to start a clothing line. He said his stuff looked like bums and it was going to be crazy. And now he's almost a billionaire because of it.
All that is still true. But keep going.
Yeah,
I have not bought one article. As big of a Kanye fan as I am, I have not bought one article of Yeezy clothing. And it's not because it's super expensive. It's just like, I just don't, like, none of it seems of quality to me.
I got the boots.
Okay.
I'm aware.
Not the ones that he's been wearing for the past month and a half.
I wore them
right?
in the shower today. No, I'm just kidding. If y'all ain't listened to the song by Kane, then forget it. No,
I can't blame you. He's a whole ass nigga.
2 times you said it.
Yeah, like
Game, come on the show. We'll be your guest, man. We'll figure it out.
No, this ain't a platform.
He said no.
There we go. What are you talking about? We're here for the realness.
Yo. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was again kind of heartbreaking to keep seeing the division between him and Cootie. Yeah. Now he kept introducing them back in, and then he wouldn't be there. Then he'd be back in. Then
that segment where he was faded and couldn't get his name right. That hurt, bro.
Yeah.
And it was like you could tell in his face that it was bothering him too. And he was like, I really don't know how to 100% address this. Like especially like in this moment, like we're literally at this man's Grammy party. I haven't seen him in forever, but it's like, yo, like you're wilding.
Right. And I mean, shout out to Cootie because it seemed like anybody could have got salty and acted real weird. He could have had a Kanye type of response to Kanye, but he was a legit like, hey, listen, this is my guy. I'm worried about his mental health. I'm worried about his situation. I'm always gonna be there rocking for him, and he always showed up whenever Kanye called him. So
because he's a true friend.
He is a true friend. That's what I was saying.
The part that really hit where I was like, he's a real true friend. He was like, I did the first thing that I ever done before. I stopped recording. And I was like, this man gets it. He was like, listen, I know that we're here and I'm supposed to be getting all this other stuff, but he's like, this is not. I'm glad you brought that up. This is not a moment that I want anybody to revisit.
Right.
Just,
right. Yeah. Because there were several times where Kanye would ask him to start recording, but this was the one. That was the one time he was like, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. I thought it was pretty dope. And everybody's picking up on this, but like, Donda is a real one. Was a real one. Nothing like a mother's love. You know what I mean? And like, no matter what, she always kept that man moving and progressing. And it was easy to see the change in Kanye, like after her passing.
Do you think Kanye loves some Kanye? Donda loved her some Kanye.
Oh yeah.
And it's like granted, we don't know her, but it's like, you can tell like, a lot of the footage that Cootie has is like candids, pretty natural. Everything's like in the moment. And it's like, it like literally like exudes through her mannerisms and like her pores, like even when she's not talking, like the way that she looks and like moves around him, it's like, man, she really loved her some Kanye. And it's like, to lose that is so tough for anybody to deal with. And then it's like to do that while you're just in the middle of like trying to get a handle on mega stardom. It's like, it's a lot. And it's like, I don't think anybody's ever said that like we don't understand why Kanye does what Kanye does. But it's just like, it's still tough that he does what Kanye does. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and I don't know, like, I don't want to say like we made excuses for him, but it's like, we've always, like, we get it. It's just like, it hurts to see the trade, like how like these things become the next thing, and it's just like, like, this is the route we decided to go.
Right. I think she was even doing the momly thing where she noticed Cootie wasn't around. She hit him up like, hey, I need you to come record something. And he was like, all right, for Kanye's mom, I'm gonna show up. You know what I mean? For Miss Donda, I'm gonna show up. And through that, he's around Kanye again, kind of like saying like, yo, you need to keep your boy around. You know, so shout out to Donda. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was what you got. It's crazy, like the way that time flies, like especially like in it, like in because like, you know, like we spend so much time in the first one being like pre-stardom, and then the second episode is the initial success, and like he had so much success that it was like it almost like we couldn't fit it in the third episode. So like we kind of go straight from the start of late registration, and we kind of like go all the way up until The Life of Pablo. So like we kind of skip over The Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which are his biggest albums. Yeezus, like we skip over all that stuff, and then it's like we kind of go, we have to go to this moment, and it's like, it's just like, I was like, because he does show like the little montages in the middle of like them and stuff like that, and I'm like, yo, like all that stuff happened in like the span of like 8 years. Right. It is like it's hard to keep track of.
I think one of the things that stuck out to me the most as well, and I don't know any reason why this is, but it's just like there wasn't a lot of interactions with like other artists, like as far as like on a personal level, like like you say Jay's your brother, but it's not much Jay-Z in there. Like you spend a lot of time with Kid Cudi, but it was only like a real snippet of Kid Cudi in there. You know what I mean? Like Common, you have Common's number in your phone. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of people's number in your phone.
Common actually hit up Cudi before Kanye did it. And I was like, oh snap! Like he kind of did. Like you tell his face, he was like, oh snap, Cudi. Right. And he was like, yo, like stay around for a little bit. Like I forgot this man exists. Like almost.
Right. So it's just like a lot of the like, and I know it's not about that. It's about Kanye, but it's just like I feel like there should have been more featurettes from other artists. If that makes sense. Like throughout all this time that Kanye is going through his career, I feel like there were some gems that were missed, and I don't know if that was intentionally. Or like it's just other people just like, nah, yeah, I don't really want to be in this.
I thought so. Like one of the people that you bring up though, and it's like they don't touch on him a lot, but it's like I was thinking about like just the symmetry of like the first episode and then this episode, where in this last episode, Rhymefest is still there, and it's like Rhymefest is helping him work on his album, and it's just like they like Rhymefest is still helping you write your album. Like he's sitting there, like he looks healthier, like he looks like he's like he's exercising, he's doing all his stuff or whatever. And like while I was watching him, I was like, damn, like I remember in the first episode when they were showing him, and like this man wrote a good chunk of Jesus Walks, and he's not even on the song, but it's like he's still around, and that's still like clearly still your guy. Like for this thing, I know they had like a weird thing. They didn't really touch on that, like when he was doing like his rants and stuff, but like they like Rhymefest was like, you don't even come to Chicago no more, like you don't show love to the city, and then like they had like a little back and forth and stuff like that, but like to see that like they moved past that, and it's like Kanye's like, it seems like Kanye's trying to get that stuff back, but it's hard. And like even like the weird conversation like he was having with his dad, like in the car and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, like we never really touch on like Kanye's dad, and it's like you could tell like he's like, you could tell just by his conversation like how much he wants to have a relationship like with his dad, and like how they're trying to look at you, you ready? Go ahead, boy. Go ahead.
I think the thing for me is the one thing that stood out to me was just like you could see so much of the disconnection just based on his dad not knowing the people that Kanye was around. Like he literally said, hey, this is my man Cootie, I've known him for 30 years. Like I've known you for 30 years. I never met your pops once. Like that
I don't think I've ever seen him.
Right. Like he literally got on the phone like, hey man, it's nice to finally see you or meet you. Like this is dope. And it's like 30 years? 30 years, bro.
Bro, like, I'm 33. That means my entire life.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's just like that. I thought that was major. I thought it was like kind of like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. And like you said, he was definitely yearning for it, because I'm pretty sure that's when they made the video where they're like standing in the snow with the big tractor joint. They both got the orange jumpsuits on, like the winter rise suits.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's just like you don't realize the type of stuff that you need in your life until you lose something. You know what I mean? He probably saw the difference in like the person he was when his mom was around and the person he grew into, and just like no matter how grown you get, like you still somebody's baby. You know what I mean? You still need that parenting around.
It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is, like how much money you got, like how poor you are or whatever. It's like we all need a support system. And it's like, you know, kind of had to trade his support system for like almost like his business team. And it's like, you know, the money, because like now you're a money machine, so it's like people need you to
continue
do this
money.
type of stuff. And it's like, and then he became the support system for like other people's like careers,
right?
And it's like that's a hard thing to navigate, and it's like it's the hard thing to navigate while you're grieving. And it's like you can tell like he's yearning for a parental figure or like someone to like really sit him down or someone that really understands him to be like, yeah, like and that's the thing is like everybody's telling him like either you're crazy or you're this, and it's like stuff like that, but like no one's really sitting down and being like, so like what's really going on in your head, like what are you trying to say,
right?
And like what are you trying to do? And it's just like, haven't you ever tried doing this? Like you used to do it like this, and like stuff like that, and like that's kind of like what his mom, that's how his mom used to ground him, is like, this is the stuff, you're the same person that you've always been, because like remember when you used to do this, it's the same thing, it's just different now people are paying attention,
right?
And it's just like, you know, his dad was clearly not there for those things, so it's like he doesn't know you as that, he only knows you as Mr. West, like in the building, like Kanye Tutta, like, that's all he knows you about. Yeah, we spent mad time on Genius, but it was a great.
I enjoyed it.
I'm not gonna lie, the initial looking at it, and I was like, damn, an hour and 37 minutes. I was like, it was a bit intimidating, but then it's like every time you get into it, you're like, nah, I'm glad.
It went by fast for me.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a little routine where I roll out my little yoga mat, get my stretches together. You know what I mean? Keep my body limber. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch the Yeezy joint while I stretch. And like by the time I was done stretching, like the Yeezy joint was almost over. So it was a good watch for me. All right, we'll hop right into the Euphoria finale.
I've been waiting.
I'm still waiting. I'm gonna get right into it.
Go ahead.
This finale episode was trash.
Okay.
I was extremely disappointed.
Okay.
It was like this big build up, and it was just like that. So all right, let me retract. I'm sorry, my bad.
So like, I also just want to point out for like this is anybody's first time, like you literally just binged all of Euphoria.
Yes.
So like you haven't had us waiting every week like for like what's gonna happen, like you've just been able to.
I would be even more mad if I had to wait. If I had to wait, and this is what
I just wanted to put out there for context,
bro. Listen, like, if I go to a restaurant and I order a steak and it comes out and this is what you give me, yeah, fam, I'm sending it back. Mind you, I'm gonna eat half of this nasty steak and then tell you I don't want to pay for it, and I'm gonna leave. Like, take this back. It wasn't cooked the way I wanted it cooked. But I feel like it was a good episode, but it's not a good episode for a finale.
Okay.
Like if this was like a mid-season episode, it'd be entertaining with the play and the theatrics and everything. Like
the episode before, the play episode, that wasn't a fire ass episode.
Yeah, it was definitely dope.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that out.
But all that rose into the last episode. It's all kind of like two episodes.
Yeah, because I mean the last one.
I don't know how you run a play like that in a high school. I get it, but either way, it's
shut
like,
down immediately.
Immediately.
First of all, this play wouldn't have happened because it would have been like, hey, before you start, like, let me see what you guys have been working on. Yo, this school is wild.
All set.
Like, yeah.
But I like the idea of it. I just thought that's like a mid-season finale or something like that. And then if you come back with the rest of the season with a real finale, I just thought all it was a theatric recap of everything that they've been through. And I didn't really need that. I already know what's going on. Literally, if it wasn't for Fezco and Ashtray, the whole episode is trash. The whole episode. Literally, the only thing that was interesting was that dynamic of the show. I'm literally like, can you please go away from this play and go back to Fezco and Ashtray? I want to know what's going on. Stop kicking back to this and go back to that. And I don't know. It was extremely disappointing for me.
I didn't think it was the best finale either. I did enjoy it like a bit more, but I also think like I enjoyed it because like, I don't want to say I made myself enjoy it, but it's like, I think the way that it was written and stuff like that, like it made you have to make things make sense instead of like them making the things make sense for you. Because it's like, you know, like you said, it's like we're pretty much doing a recap, and it's like it is technically a recap, but like what it really is kind of like everybody's the hero of their own story, and everybody's story is seen a certain way. But then like when you hold the mirror up or like you show a video of like, hey, this is what actually happened, and then like you see it there, and it's like you start to realize like, you know, like maybe I'm actually the villain in the story, or like I'm this. And it's like, I thought it was a very therapeutic thing for Rue, like for like specifically
for everyone in the group.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't think Cassie got like
oh no definitely not, like, definitely not old boy that walked out early.
Oh, by the way, like Lexi's mom Is she not like the
She's
greatest? Like,
hilarious.
is she not like the
She's
greatest
hilarious.
character? Like, yo, she's going through these feelings and like stuff like that. I was like, yo, this
And
is
he plays me in the show. He's
like, I was just like, yo, like she's like the best, like one of the best characters. It's like every time she's on screen, like she's perfect.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like especially like she's having to like how therapeutic like that was. And I know like we're not talking about the finale anymore,
the way
but the
I raise
episode
my
before.
children.
Yeah, but like the episode before where it's like this is the thing about loss, and like we talk about loss and we talk about grieving, and it's like when these things happen, it's very easy and it's very hard to be almost like selfish and single-minded in it, and it's just like, hey, like this was a very traumatic thing for me, and it's like this is why like I am like the way I am, but it's like this didn't just happen to you,
right?
Like this happened to like everybody else, and it's like for her to see her daughter's perspective on like how this affected her, and then like like that dope moment like she had with like her dad like dancing and stuff like that, and it's like she lost it because she's just like like this is a thing that you'll never have again, and it's like I as a mother like I hurt for you, but at the same time like and this is, I know like I'm divulging again, is like this is like the thing about the movie In and Out. And like the movie In and Out, it's like like the happiness always wants to turn all the sad moments into happiness, and then at the end of the movie, and it's like the whole premise of it is like the reason why these moments are so happy because you allowed yourself to go into the sadness in the first place, because the sadness is what exemplifies your happiness.
It cannot always be light.
Oh, here we go. Like,
skirt.
Yeah. It's like that. And it was just like, yo, I thought like that was super dope. And then like, the Fezco part, like that's obviously, that was the real tension of it and stuff like that. Like the Nate Jacobs storyline was kind of weird. And it was like, I wanted it to be bigger because like the cow scene early on, like when he's telling the family off when he's peeing in the hallway and stuff like that was one of my favorite scenes in the whole show. And it's like, they kind of just didn't do much with it.
Right.
It's like that. And like, that's kind of like, I think where everybody's, I think that's kind of like where everybody's at, is just like this episode was okay, but like you didn't really set up like anything else. Like the show is not set to, the new season is not supposed to come out until 2024. So that's like 2 years from now. And it's like, what are we waiting for exactly? Because like we know that Rue said in the thing, like she remained sober for like the rest of the school year. They completely like Kitty Queen did what this season?
Which also instantly made me think that as soon as the summer came, she started wilding.
Yeah. No, what made me think of, I was like, shorty that you owed that money to came a calling.
Ooh.
Because like I was like, how are we not touching on that?
Ooh.
When my girl with the Botox lips was like putting her name out there or something like that, I was like, yeah, if you don't think shorty's about to be on her Walter White in this next season, I was like, you might be incorrect. But like, yeah, like I think the Kitty Queen storyline really, really kind of fell through. And I think that's kind of like I did enjoy a lot of the things in this season. Like one of the highlights for me is like the cinematography. I think a lot of the way things were shot, and I was like, yeah, like I kept during episodes, I was like, wow, like these cinematographers are like really in their bag with like a lot of these shots that they're doing, and like the way that they're filming thing, like the way that like Lexi's segments are filmed, like almost like a reality show, separate of like what everything else is doing and stuff like that. But it's like, I think where it does fall a little flat is like a lot of the character development for certain characters. Like I think they did, like Rue obviously is the main character. Like she has a ton of scenes this season where like they could send like a bunch of episodes and it'd be like, yo, where's her Emmy at?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she's in her bag.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's
definitely
shorter range, but
my boy Fez is what we'll call it. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's everybody's favorite, Mac Miller, stuff like that. Like he's, they did him some justice, and it's like, where does he go from here?
Right.
Somebody said,
he goes to jail.
Yeah. Well, somebody pointed out, they were just like, what if this next season starts and it's like he goes to jail the same time that Cal does, Nate's dead. So now they have to do time in the pen together. And you got to navigate that. And I was like, why are the fans making storylines that I want to see more than the actual people? Right. And stuff like that. But it's like, yo, like,
I feel like Fezco might actually get off, man, because he didn't really do anything.
I didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
And then
and it's like, it's not crazy for him to say like Ashtray did it because he's not showing no disloyalty
but he won't do that. And what I think is gonna happen is Faye? That's the girl with the lips, right? Faye?
I don't know her name. Talking about the one that was living in the crib?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to pin it on Ashtray.
Yes.
And she's going to say, no, Fez is lying to cover up this. And that's gonna get him off. And I feel like that's gonna piss Fez off even more. That like, you know, like, yo, like I'm willing to do, I was going to do the time for my brother.
Right.
I'm down to do that. And it's like, you didn't even allow me to do that. And it's like, we might see a whole different Fez. Yeah. You didn't allow me to grieve properly or like respect my brother the way that I wanted to respect
All this
him.
sounds better than the finale.
I'm just saying, like,
I'll just say. Did you enjoy the finale?
I thought it was cool. There was like, I think the scenes that I did like I really felt like them. Like I said, like a lot of the Rue stuff, like I was really like I was in it. And then like the Fez stuff, like some of that was really tough. And then it's like, just as an older brother in general, just thinking of like how you would handle this situation. And it's like the way that they filmed it, like how tense it was. Like when she's sitting there and she looks over and like you see the cameras on the computer move a little bit. And I was just like, oh. And then like you could hear them like slowly move. And I was just like, the whole time I was like, oh my God.
And that's why I retracted. Cause like I said, I know I first said it was trash. Like, I don't think the episodes were bad. I just don't think this is your finale. I
think the way they really dropped the ball is the Maddie and Cassie, because like that's the stuff that they were building up. That's what they were building up, the Maddie, Cassie, Nate thing, and it's like that didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean?
You didn't even have a real fight. Like,
I think that's what everybody said. It was like, Maddie ain't whip her ass enough for me.
Right.
Not for me. Right. Like you slammed her head, and I thought that was the start. I was like, oh.
It was like one smack, and then a slam to the head. And you saw the sister walk up, like, yeah, beat her down. I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna pan around the school into the.
That better be episode 1 of season 3 of like them showing
beating
like
the brakes off of somebody.
Exactly.
Right. She's standing there with an ice pack, like, was it supposed to happen like this?
Yeah. Like, and I'll say like that. I feel like that whole storyline definitely didn't deliver.
Yeah.
But I did like when she was just like, oh yeah, this was just get put in her place. And she got up.
So when I see stuff like this, it always leads to me assuming, and I could be wrong, that writers weren't on the same page and they got lazy with the pen, and this is what we're going with. Like whenever you see shows end like this, it's just like somebody got lazy with the writing. There was some contention somewhere to where like this is like I said, it's a good episode, but like you have, as a writer, as a developer, you have to know that this is not the way your finale is supposed to go.
I don't think it was one of the best episodes of the season, like at all. Like for it being like only 8 episodes, like this might have been like the 8th best episode of the season, because like they've had a ton of like phenomenal episodes this season,
right? And
it's like I said, like I just think that this one didn't deliver as much.
Nope.
But at the same time, go watch Euphoria, y'all. I gave you this recommendation. Do you whatchamacallit? Like was Euphoria a solid recommendation?
It was.
Is it going to be?
You have to prepare yourself for all the stuff that's happening in the show, though. This is not.
I give you like a subtle warning on it.
Yeah,
like, I didn't give you it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Especially you got teenage boys running around here.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's like once they got to the substance of the show, which I heard they got some slack about, but I guess we could talk about that anytime. But they're saying they're glorifying drug use and like downplaying the use of opioids and stuff like that. You know, for everything you do, there's a community of people who are going to disagree. I don't think they abused the outlook of how it looks. I don't think they attacked the character of Rue. Like they gave a real outlook on what it looks like.
They showed you all sides of Rue.
Right.
Like this is all the signs of addiction.
Right.
Like her rise, her fall, like her struggle, like the whole thing. And then not only that, like how it affects the people around you. I want her sister to just be happy. Can Gia be happy? That's her name, right? I just want Gia to be. I haven't seen that girl smile until my man Ali showed up.
She's a different kid.
And like
she's a different kid.
My my boy Ali showed up and was like, "Yo, get your stinking ass out this kitchen, man. Let me tell you about Candyman." And he was just like, "Yo, like, yeah, she should be mad. Like, why shouldn't she be? Like, right. You know what I mean?"
Right.
So
I think that's and we'll leave it at that. But I think that's one of the key points Ali brought up, where he was like, "You are allowed to be mad at her."
Yeah. Like why shouldn't she be?
Like, why shouldn't you be? But yeah, that was pretty dope. It's all about healing. All about healing.
Because like that's that's the whole point of the director. Like this is almost like his story. Like he brought himself from like addiction and stuff like that, and then like kind of like built himself from the ground up, and then like now he's writing like what the #1 show of 2022 to the deal
so far,
or directing, I should say.
So far, you're gonna lose some credits with this finale.
Is it whatchamacallit? Is it still in your top? Or did it make your top shows that you've watched the 2022 show for?
Really, in February.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
So far, yes. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of shows out there.
I'm just saying.
It can get moved out, though.
I know. Everything can move out.
Tripping, and then I don't get to see you again until 24. That's why I forget who you is.
It's definitely not a good thing that they left you with a bad taste. Because when the end of the year comes, like that's going to be the first thing you remember is like how you left it.
Right.
Not like the journey in there. But go ahead.
Right. All right, we can move on to popcorn, Papi.
Okay. Don't stop, pocket.
So we only have
Sorry.
to all the drum majors out there. We only got one movie out here, man.
I know, and it sucks because I didn't watch it.
Go ahead.
So I need to. So the movie is the Batman.
Quick.
The movie is the Batman. Robert Pattinson's new Batman movie, directed by Matt Reeves, the guy who brought one of my favorite trilogies, the Planet of the Apes trilogy from this last time around with James Franco, I guess.
No, sorry.
No, Caesar, bro. Like that's one of my goons, bro. Like that's my guy. I would die for that monkey, and I don't even know him.
He should have got an Oscar.
Yeah, I think he did get something because it's the same dude that plays Smeagol or Gollum, Andy Serkis.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same dude.
Okay.
Smeagol.
We're moving on.
But whatchamacallit, like this movie just came out. I've already seen
half the movie in the trailers.
No, that because the movie's 3 hours long. So
What?
like I don't know if you knew you think that you've seen a lot of this movie. The movie is 3 hours long.
I can't.
The reviews are going through the roof for this movie. And then people are automatically going to the top. Like they're just like, this is either as good or if not better than The Dark Knight. So I have to watch. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you where it's at, and this is what people are saying. Like people are really, really enjoying this movie. I didn't get to see the Rotten Tomatoes score. I know that on just yesterday, the day when it came out, $27 million in the box office, and it's like, you know what I mean. So people are watching it, people are liking it, people are like, and I am not gonna see it this weekend because I am getting ready to take my trip. My best friend is having his first child, and one of his requests of me is when he comes, he wants to see it together, the two of us. And I was just like,
sounds like Godfather material.
It's possible. That'd be my first godchild.
And because of this, we will miss an episode because Joel's irresponsibly leaving.
I was gonna do
putting his friends and family and the people that he cares about ahead of the pod and the people that care about the Heavyweight Bros.
I was gonna, do some housekeeping at the end of the episode to let them know why they.
No, get to it now. Nah, I'm just playing, man. Use a real one, man. Go ahead.
Because you didn't watch it.
Huh?
I said you could have watched it. You didn't watch it.
Watch what?
The Batman.
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought it was terrible.
Okay.
No, sorry,
I was like, did you see the one? There's a video circulating of the one guy that didn't like it.
No.
And like he's just saying that, and like he's like as he's going along, like you're starting to notice a trend, and like what it really comes down to is like it's not enough white people in this movie for him. There's a lot of people of color in this movie. And it's just like, that's really what it came down to. And I was like, oh, bro, you just lost in the sauce.
Yo, man. That is crazy.
So we're going to, the next time that we do pod, I will have seen this movie and I will have a full review for you. I'll go as long as you want me to go on this movie, because I'm sure I'll have a ton to say. I might even see it twice before we record.
Tell your homie good luck with the baby.
Of course.
Rayshawn or Rayshana are both pretty dope names.
Oof.
I'm just saying.
That Rayshana was rough. That was...
It's dope.
I saw an episode of the Love is Blind, the Netflix reality show. It's a dating reality show that they have, and like there was a dude on there. His name was Jarrett, and like I legitimately out loud I was like, what a terrible name. And I was like, I feel like I don't think about stuff like that often, but I was just like, oh, I was like, Jarrett. I was like, that's an awful name. For a black man too. Like,
shout out to all the Jarretts.
I was gonna say, there's a couple of Jarretts right now. Like, first of all, my father fought it. But like, we do have a trailer to talk about as well.
Okay.
There was a movie I said it to you. It was called Bullet Train with Brad Pitt.
Go ahead and talk about it. I was very impressed. I
had no idea what this movie's about. I will be seeing this movie when it comes out.
Listen, as soon as I see old boy from Atlanta.
Yeah, I was gonna say our boy Paperboy was in there.
Paperboy was in there, and I how I know I say this a lot, but that brother's showing his range, man.
He had the blonde hair going.
Several different things that he was in, like he was in Godzilla.
Yep.
He was in another joint where he's like the guy who's like threatening to kill somebody if they don't come up with some money or so. I can't remember what movie
it's a Hotel Artemis or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. But it's like this brother's like, hey, listen, man, I got it, and he's definitely. Like, I was happy to see him in the movie. We got Brad Pitt.
Yep. But I mean, like, a lot of the guys or a lot of people in this movie, aside from Brad Pitt, are just like, oh, this is the dude from this. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not a lot of
Eve is in it.
Eve is come on now. Like let's not pretend like granted Eve does have that type of name where like everybody knows Eve.
Right.
And stuff
I
like
had
that.
to rewind it a couple times. Like, is that Eve? I was like, you know, you double tap, get the
Sonic paw prints. You're like, that's Eve.
The 10-second run back. I was like, that is Eve.
But it's like it's a movie that's just like that. It seems like Snowpiercer meets Smoking Aces is like what the movie looks like to me.
That is a really good representation. You know what, man? Go ahead and do your
This
thing.
is what I do.
I'm gonna sit back. You go ahead and do your thing.
Like just judging from the trailer, it looks like Brad Pitt is a hitman who is charged with boarding a bullet train and retrieving a briefcase that has whatever the MacGuffin is of the movie that's in there. He has to go retrieve it.
Man, that is a really good representation. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's like I do that sometimes. I leave people mystified. And then he comes to find out he's not the only hitman on this train looking for this briefcase. And it's like, it looks like almost like a Snowpiercer thing where it's like every train has like a different rule on it. So like there's a scene that we see where it's just like, this is the quiet train. So like they can't go above a certain volume. I don't know what happens when they do. So like that, but like it looked like a really wild, interesting ride. And it's like, I'm 100% here for it.
That's what's up. I enjoyed it too. The fact that you said Snowpiercer and Smoking, I'm stuck on that. That's literally what the movie is. That is literally what the movie is. 1,012 trains strong. Oh, you don't watch Snowpiercer, do you?
I do not. So like if you do yourself a favor and watch the Bullet Train trailer and tell me that you're not down, be like, I don't know what this shit is. I'm there.
Right. It's fire. It's fire. All right. So nothing else did we have?
That was it. That was the only other trailer that I had.
Okay. All right. So I guess we can get right into our Hardwood Check-in.
Okay.
All right. First things first. Shout out
Rest
to
in peace, Uncle Phil. For real.
I literally don't do that on purpose, but it happens every single episode. Wilt Chamberlain.
Well, what is this? 60 years
since he scored a
100-point game. Now, in the past like 2 years, we've been getting a lot more footage of Wilt, and like people have been restoring it to like in color and 4K quality, and people are starting to really see like how Wilt Chamberlain used to play and be like, because that was like the easy thing is like, well, he was doing it a bunch of white dudes in the 60s,
right,
and it's like the more and more you watch it, it's like, nah, this dude was a freak all the way around, and it's like he was legit. We still don't have the footage from the 100-point game. Like all we have
I don't want to see it. I'm tired of people having their career games in Madison Square Garden. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. It's never in a Knicks jersey.
Never.
Somebody coming to the Garden to tear our face off. 55 here, 60 here. Like, I mean, Melo did have the 60-something point game.
Yeah, but then like it wasn't. There's never a Bernard King scoring 100. Like on the Lakers or something like that.
So tough. It's like so and so had a great. Oh, that's dope. It was in the Garden.
Yeah.
It hurts. But nah, shout out to Will, man.
And this is probably one of the so Wilt in general is one of the most like in all of sports, the greatest like statistical juggernaut like we've ever seen. And it's like it makes him so hard to like put on like a bunch of lists. Like, you know, we were talking about like the ESPN top 10 list and like all this stuff. Like his name gets forgotten. And then like when you say him, you're like, oh snap! Like we can't not say Wilt because it's like every time anybody breaks any record, it'd be like either he broke or passed, and it was like was either previously held or tied with Wilt Chamberlain because that brother was just that crazy on the court. And the fact that like he kept running into Bill Russell and just wasn't winning all that stuff like makes Bill Russell even crazier.
Yeah,
like some way somehow.
Yeah.
But like 100 points, the second highest total that we ever had was Kobe Bryant's 81. Will we ever see 100 points?
Yes.
We will.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. These kids are shooting threes off at a clip. That's crazy, bro. Somebody's going to mess around. It's going to, I mean, it may not be like anytime soon, of course, but there's going to be somebody who like, it's like, how did this happen? How did this happen?
Because Devin Booker had 71, like not too long, like
right.
Is like second year in the league or something like that. And everybody was like, oh, like is Devin Booker going to be the guy that eventually he gets there?
The thing
it is hard,
the
bro.
The thing that's weird to me though, is like when this is happening, a lot of these guys are getting subbed out of the game. Like even when Devin Booker had the 70-something, they were like, he didn't play like a good portion of like the third or the fourth quarter. Like, why did you take him out the game, coach? Let's see just what it's going to turn up to. You know what I mean? Or it's like, I'm trying to think of what year it was. I'll digress, but it was Ravens running back he was going to have the single game rushing record.
The Jamal Lewis?
Jamal Lewis.
Yeah.
There you go. And the coach pulled him out. Like, bro, he literally needs 2 more carries to break this record. Like, why are coaches making these decisions?
Because if he breaks that record, it's going to break the bank, bro. You relax and sit your ass down.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole Antonio Brown thing, right?
Right. So it's just like, I don't know if that's the premise with basketball or if like there's this unwritten rule of like this Hunnit needs to live forever. But it's just like a lot of the times when guys look like they're on pace to do something crazy like this, they're pulled out of the game. Clay had like 37 in 1 quarter at one point. And what did they do? Sit this man on the bench for a good majority of time. Like, why is this man on the bench? He clearly has the hot hand. Unless he taps his head and says, Coach, I need one, leave him out there. If I have a player, I don't care what level, I don't care if it's youth basketball, and my player is at 60 and we going into the 4th quarter, I'm sitting down and I'm going to say, hey, green light, let's keep getting him the ball. I don't care if he misses his next 5 shots. Let's see how high he can get. Like, this is like LaMelo Ball when he scored, the 91 or something like that?
103.
Huh?
He scored 103.
In a game? No, It wasn't 103.
It was 103 points.
No, it was like 90 something, bro.
It was 103 points.
I'm gonna double check that one. But like literally, he was like
keep
they
talking.
were called cherry picking, no matter what, they were trying to get this guy the ball to see just how many points he got. And the coach wasn't being a sucker and be like, of course, LeVar Ball and 37 of his family members are in the bleachers. So as a coach, you're not about to sub this man out. But I'm pretty sure this man wasn't like, all right, I'm gonna sit him down when he's having this
92 points.
92 points. There you go.
I stand corrected.
It's okay. Like it wasn't a time where he was just like, all right, I'm gonna sit this kid down. Like that joint broke the internet for that time that it had happened. Like, why would you feel like as a coach, you got to say, all right, come on, have a seat. You look tired. No.
I think it's easy to say, like, especially talking about, like youth basketball and like all this other stuff, college hoops is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA season is long. Yes. And if we've learned anything, like in these past couple years, like especially with the, oh my God, what does Kawhi Leonard call it? Where it's like they take breaks. But it's like they're not trying to overexert these players because like these players get hurt.
Minute restrictions.
Yeah, like these players are, man, it's gonna kill me that I don't know this word because it's like they used it for so long. But it's like these players are not just players anymore. Like these are multi-million-dollar
assets.
Assets. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, Klay Thompson, like he had that 37 points in the quarter, and it's like, they were up like 20-something points. It's like, this game doesn't matter. Like, granted, like it's going to be a NBA TV classic, and it's going to be a hardwood classic, and it's going to be like all this other stuff. But it's like, we don't need you to do this here. We need you to do this in the playoffs, like when it's truly, truly matters.
I get it. And the game Kobe had against the Raptors matter?
No. And don't get me started on the Kobe 81 game.
I'm just saying the game did not matter, but Kobe scored 81. It's an iconic game.
Yeah.
All right. So the game not mattering doesn't mean much to me. This man has
to you.
Keep going.
But if Kobe would have dropped that 81 and then like one of his last plays, like he rolled his ankle, like everybody would have been like, why was this brother still out there? That's what would have happened. And it's like, that's what you're trying to avoid. And then like, I can't remember, I think it was Rudy Tomjanovich was the coach at that point in time. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, oh, like this dude's supposed to be the coach. And like, he's got Kobe playing all these minutes and then he's putting up 81 points and they were up 15 points. And it's like, and then now we've lost Kobe for the rest of the season. And it's like, and for what? Like that's the risk.
It's definitely the risk. And you can't live your life on what ifs because you would never do nothing. So
that's true. But then
go ahead and get it.
But like Tom Thibodeau did that to Derrick Rose. And then now look at Derrick Rose.
You can't just go back to Derrick Rose though. It wasn't like
they had that game. They were up by like 15 points. There was like 3 minutes left. He should have took Derrick Rose out. He didn't, and he ruined that man's career. That's the reason why I don't think we'll ever see 100 points. I don't think we'll ever see it.
All right, moving on.
Think about like Steph Curry, like how accurate and like how insane his shots are, and how many threes we see him put up. He's never had 70. So it's like if Steph Curry hasn't had 70. It's like, how are we getting to 100? You know what I mean?
No, I feel you.
So like that's just my piece on it. What we got next?
We have KD's return.
He did come back.
Yeah,
that man was dropping buckets. He did not look like he's been out all this time.
Did not skip a beat.
And they did not get the W.
You beat me to it. Yo, Phil. They did not get the W. So what's the issue now?
It was his first game back. They're rusty.
That's what it
They
is.
but that's what they're gonna say. It's
that man
like,
didn't look
oh,
rusty.
They got to get their time together. That
man didn't look rusty. He looked so clean. I didn't remember what his injury was. I don't remember why he was out. I was like, why was he out? Was it a stub toe or something?
Brother's tired.
He's tired of y'all.
Like, his lower back hurt from carrying his team. That's what it was. Like,
he was laying in the bed with a picture, the little Wolverine joint, the little Golden State Warrior sign.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Brooklyn, man. It feels like they're imploding, but I mean,
I think it's very easy to see what's going on in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many people want to be. They have too many ideas of what this team is supposed to be or like who they are, and it's like nobody's cohesive on that vision. And I feel like a lot of that.
How much of this fall? Oh, go ahead.
I feel like a lot of it's gonna fall on Steve Nash.
Oh, I was just about to ask that. How much of this falls on Steve Nash?
And I don't think a lot of it should, because it's like he's a first-time head coach, and they gave him the most insane, like, hey, here's Kyrie, Kevin Durant, make that joint happen. And it's like your first-time head coach has to deal with two of the most like difficult stars like of all time.
Right.
Like you think about like just star players who were just difficult in general. It's like those two are definitely up there. Like think about how many coaches they've been through, like Doc Rivers, Steve Kerr, Scott Brooks, like just like on and on and on. Like
Tony.
Yep, D'Antoni, and it's just like they couldn't even get it out of him. And this first year guy was supposed to get him just because like he was a really good point guard back in the day.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're top 5 in the East right now. I think they're number 6 now. I think they're 6 in the East.
Yeah, because Miami moved up.
Miami's been number 1 the whole time. I think Toronto moved up, and that's what moved them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously the Boston surge, like that was another thing too. But it's like the fact that they're still this afloat, and it's like everybody's just like, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs, and then it's like, who's going to stop them for 7 straight games? That's what it really comes down to. I think they want to be an away team more than anything, because like Kyrie could play more games if they're away teams.
Yeah, you get 4 instead of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 instead of 3. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially considering the New York ban being lifted does not get Kyrie the green light to play like that. I don't get it, man. I do not get it.
I think they'll be just fine. I just don't think they're a championship team. No, are they a contender? Yeah. Are they a scary team? Yes. Are they a contender? Yes. I just don't think that they truly have what it takes to win it. Like I couldn't imagine them beating Phoenix.
No.
You know what I mean? Like some of that, or even Denver for that matter. Like, you know what I mean? Because like Denver's kind of like my second choice for coming out of the West.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. So you think the winner's coming out the West this year?
Unless I do not believe in this Miami Heat team as much as everybody else does. I think this Miami Heat team.
I feel like there was a lot of stock putting them in the bubble too, and we seen what happened.
I think this Miami Heat team reminds me a lot of the Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan Raptors, where it's like we're gonna put up amazing numbers in the regular season.
On the team now. Sheesh.
We're gonna do all this. We're gonna do all this, and it's like the X factor on that team is Bam. If Bam shows us that he's the Bam from like 3 years ago, then I completely changed my opinion on it.
He was an X factor supposedly in why they lost because he was injured.
Yep. Yeah. I know. Like he's whatchamacallit. To me, he's the key to them being legit. Like if I start seeing that Bam, then it's like I'll completely change on it. But like until then, I feel like Milwaukee's got it in the bag. And then who wants to see Philadelphia right now? The boys are 4-0 with James Harden there, and like James Harden and Tyrese Maxey are looking pretty thorough together. Even Tobias Harrison's getting in on it.
Crazy in the Garden. No, that was a Philly game.
No, you're thinking of in the Garden. That was last night. Cam Johnson just dropped that 38 special. Like in a quarter. Your boy Julius Randle had to push him. He like, yo, your boy Pumpkin set that up. He pulled a Spike. He pulled a Spike Lee Reggie Miller
by 1.
He pulled a Spike Lee Reggie Miller on.
We lose by 1.
Shouldn't have pushed that man. He's pushing button down.
We're moving on.
He wasn't pushing P.
We move on.
He was pushing threes. Look at in his face.
You done?
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's pushing pumpkin. Go ahead.
Pushing pumpkin.
Go.
It's home cooking time. Man.
What's next? Go ahead. What's next? I'm sorry.
I said it's home cooking time.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it's something stripping now. I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then? Do you think about me now and then? Cause I'm coming home again. It's time for some home cooking with Big Nasty and Uncle Raisin.
Hey, all right. So again, it's probably gonna be the same topic for the next few weeks, man. But Central basketball continues to keep rolling.
Yellow.
From what I've been informed, like they could potentially have all their playoff games be home games because of their seeding until they get to like the final 8 or 4 teams because they're doing the bracket style states type thing now. And every game would be a doubleheader because the girls would play first at 5:30 and then the boys would play right after at 7.
Okay.
So the girls did win their game. I can't remember what team they played. I don't know the name of them. But they won by like 30. The boys were in.
Damn.
Yeah. They just got too
much
much speed and too many athletes for a lot of these teams. And then the boys also won their game. I'm pretty sure they won by like 20. It was pretty touch and go at first because they had some senior kid on this other team. I think he might have had like 18 at halftime.
Damn.
Yeah, he was cooking up. But then Central got in rhythm, started realizing that they got a lot of bigs, and then the bigs went to work. They got down low, got some real good layups.
I heard that there was like this freshman on the squad that they put to like put the clamps on him.
Here you go, always trying to get this man some headway.
I'm just saying, like, from what I heard is like they had a Marcus Smart on the bench and they didn't realize it.
Goodness.
And like this kid had 18, what was it, at halftime? And then he had 5 points the rest of the game. And it was primarily because of this kid that they put on him.
The freshman did lock him up in the third quarter.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Everybody did watch him. The young boy he's talking about is my son, John Des. I don't be wanting to use this for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, he did come in, have a good day. He got in kid's face, tired him out a little bit, and his fourth quarter didn't go well. So I think he finished the second half with like 5.
Put him in the torture chamber. Like Lou Dort from the Thunder. That's what they call him, the torture chamber.
Really?
Yeah, that's his nickname.
I didn't know that.
You gotta pay attention to these nicknames. I hit you with the John the Baptist,
John the Baptist,
the motorcade, and then what you call it, and then the torture chamber.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, come up with a nickname for Sean Des so we can start code talking about him. But yeah, shout out
Destroyer. What you mean?
Wow.
It took me like 4 seconds. You kidding me?
Wow, that was impressive. But yeah, shout out to the Central Boys and Girls Basketball Program. Keep pushing. Like I said, every time y'all keep what's coming. Yeah. I'm gonna keep on saying it. The better y'all do, the more it does for the city, the community, the program.
I thought you were about to say the more you spend, the more you save. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not sure what you're doing.
So yeah, just keep working hard, man. Keep working hard. City's rooting for y'all. All right.
Because like as long as Central's in the playoffs and they got that freshman coming off the bench, when the Destroyer comes into the what?
Nothing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say because like once the Destroyer comes off the bench, you're like, man, get out of my way! Watch out as I come through, busting in your line, cracking numbers in two. When I bring that pain, man, what you gonna do? We harder than hard, rougher than rough. Rah!
He's been waiting for some NFL to talk about so long.
What you want? The rock in the palm of my hand, and what you got? I got John Madden.
It wasn't enough that Ludacris was on the Genius documentary.
Clean out your locker. I'm out to get you.
You don't have to get me. I'm just going to leave. But yes, we finally have some football to talk about. And likably to me, it's all Vegas talk.
It is
like,
Vegas talk.
It seems
it
seems like every single trade, every single opportunity, the Raiders keep popping up. Like if it's not.
You're the most. First of all, you're a new team for the most part. Like you're in a new stadium, new city. Your team is a bit in flux, and you have Derek Carr, who's like an asset that people are looking for because like a lot of these quarterbacks and like all these stuff that need to move around. It's like people want at least a competent quarterback, and it's like he is that. You guys have all your draft picks. So that's like it makes sense why everybody's rumored to be going there.
Bro, it's so much though. It's like I don't know what to get happy about because it's so much. It's like
also I'm pretty sure the algorithm on your phone makes sure that you get forwarded all Raiders.
Everything. So it's like these top 3 corners want to go and play for the Raiders or have the potential to go to the Raiders. This O-lineman could land on the O-line in the Raiders. Amari Cooper is allegedly being released by the Cowboys.
Well, that was the whole point of this topic. Yeah. The whole reason we're here
is a return to the Vegas possible. We better make it possible. Like, especially if you're considering what does a pairing of Amari coming over look like if Devontae Adams decides to come? And if so, do the Raiders trade Derek Carr? Do they keep him with the new contract? How does that look, getting Devontae with a new contract for Derek Carr? Do you just go for Aaron Rodgers? Russell Wilson's going to the Eagles, so you want to get Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, what is that Eagles talk thing I keep hearing about him going to the Eagles?
They keep saying him and DK Metcalf are both going there. I think DK needs to strongly separate himself from Russell Wilson because for some reason he doesn't want to throw him the ball.
I don't think it's a Russell Wilson's choice. I think that's a Pete Carroll choice.
You can't make me decide who to throw the ball to. I will straight Willie Beam in this joint. You need to get on my page or you need to shut up. like, come on, man. My man is 6'8", 340 and can run a 4.240. Like, come on, man. Like, I remember when I'll keep bringing this up. I remember when Calvin Johnson was in the league and they were like, the idea of throwing to Calvin Johnson is like throwing to a two-door garage. Say it again, please.
A 2-car garage.
There you go. So throwing to DK must be throwing to a 10-bedroom complex.
You're throwing it to a condo?
Yes. You were throwing it into the project. Close your eyes and throw that joint. Like, come on, man. It's just like there's no reason how you do not throw that ball. I don't care don't throw the ball to DK. And then touchdown. I'm sorry, my bad, coach. They were bearing down on me. I just threw it up. He just happened to catch it. Like, that's literally what I'm saying every single time.
Pete Carroll's playbook, like when they open it up, like 88% of it is running plays and stuff like that.
Really? Marshawn disagree.
But that's what I'm saying. The one play that's in there that is a passing play.
Right. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of buzz around Raider football right now, and it's exciting and also stressful. I just want some decisions to start being made. Like, even like, I'm an Ohio State fan. Chris Olave does excellent at the combine. And then he says, I'm open to getting drafted by the Raiders with the 22nd pick. And I instantly picture Aaron Rodgers looking at his set and he's
already penciling in Aaron Rodgers.
Amari, Devontae, and Chris Olave in the slot. And then they said they told him about signing.
Henry Ruggs was like, man, that looked crazy.
I'm
sorry. I needed to do it. I'm sorry. I felt dirty doing it.
Painful, man. And then they also said that they're possibly looking at DJ Chark.
Yeah.
So him in the slot, Olave in the slot. You got Devontae and Amari on the outside. Josh Jacobs in the back.
About to have no offensive line.
Darren Waller at the tight end. Yeah, let's go 7 on 7. You got Darren Waller at tight end. Like, it just. I don't.
What's your offensive line? Is it Leatherwood?
They're talking about not moving his position because they think just surrounding him with stronger linemen will make his job less strenuous. So he would be the lineman that they expect him to be there.
But that's his name, right? Leatherwood.
Yeah, he came.
They're just about to be like, yo, brother, we just need you to snap the ball.
That's it.
And we're just gonna throw it to any one of these out.
That's it.
That's the way your 11 team lineup works.
Let everybody in. We not worried about it, man. Because if everybody else doesn't get open, we're gonna dump it to Josh.
Sounds like the Blitz and Bears.
It's hilarious, but it's just like. I don't know, man. It's a lot of buzz. Like I said, it's a lot of excitement, but it's also very nerve-wracking because nothing has really been set in stone. And I would hate for all this to be like, so none of these players went to the Raiders.
Sounds like being a New York Knicks fan. Is this like literally not the same thing?
Every time.
Like as soon as the finals in the NBA finals happen, them Knicks fans hit that Photoshop crazy, bro.
Yes.
And that's what happens every single year. And it's my favorite. I remember my favorite one was it was LeBron, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, and then they were like, and there was like a Steph Curry, like in the back, like in an obituary, like, how when you in the clouds, it was like that. And it was just like the Lakers' future.
Damn, listen, when LeBron first said he was leaving Cleveland and that man had the announcement, I was sitting with my homies and I had just went and bought some LeBrons. They was all gray, but they had the orange lining on them. I'm pretty sure it was the LeBron 8s, I believe.
Okay.
And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I went out and make sure I got some kicks for the special occasion when it's been announced that he's going to the Knicks. Because, I mean, if you want to be the king of basketball, you might as well do that being the king in New York. So this is easy. They was like, why do you think that? Amari's, him and Amari, him and Melo would love to play with each other. Like, they homies. I mean, I said I'm taking my talents to South Beach. It has all been downhill since then. It's like we can't get a break, bro. And I just don't want this Vegas stuff to be the same.
You had a break last year with your pumpkin boy. What you mean? And then that boy Trey Day came out of nowhere and was hit you with the AK far away. Everybody hit the DECK.
How's things in Detroit?
Have you not been? You haven't been. Have you been watching these last couple of Detroit games? Because I'm pretty sure we've won 6 of our last 8 games, and then the 2 games that we lost, we lost by like a combined 4 points. That's like these boys are playing. Marvin Bagley.
What are you guys like 12?
In the conference or the league?
In the conference.
Yeah, is that like that?
Okay, all right. Well, yeah. Great job.
I think we're 4.5 games behind the Knicks. Like, relax, really, because we've been ass all year. So
y'all in 13th because we in 12.
It's like
we like 2 spots out of the play-in tournament.
Like lower your voice a little bit. Like
turn
that down. Like
2 extra spots, you still can't get into the.
You might be you might get played out in the play-in. Relax. Look at Caesar.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Jon Snow.
I don't want to be somebody's. I don't want to be somebody's first round toothpick. Like, that was nice. Like how Raphael said Ninja Turtles. I sure do hope there's more of them. Yeah. Like, no, I don't. Right. It was like I don't want to be that team. But yes, I just want to see it get figured out, man. It is a lot of big names. It's a couple corners from the Patriots. I think Stephon Gilmore's name popped up. Marshawn Lattimore's name popped up. Michael Thomas' name is popping out there because we know he doesn't want to be in New Orleans. Alvin Kamara could be gone. It's just so many things, and I just feel like Vegas is always the first name to pop up. And like you said, they have the money, they have the draft picks, so they do have more wiggle room than a lot of teams.
They also have the need.
Yes,
because that's what you guys need. Is like
yes.
Hunter Renfrow needs somebody today. I didn't like how you were doing your little thing and you were making everybody out, and Hunter Renfrow was immediately like, all right, bet. Like, you just like that. This man was a hero for y'all last year, and then like you took him out of the equation.
Hunter,
what's Amari Cooper?
Like the Spanish dude from The Longest Yard when the brother showed up.
He's like, Petey. He's like, hey.
The brother Michael Irvin them came walking out. He's like, no, we're never gonna play. He's like, throw me the ball. Hey. But no,
he made a weird thing. Like,
but yeah, so I don't know, man. Hunter definitely put the team on his back several times, man. I just need for things to start happening so I know exactly where we are, man. I don't want to think about what could be. I just want to see it.
If you lost to anybody, you guys lost to a Super Bowl contender. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
definitely.
I think the future is bright for the Raiders, and they are not my favorite team, but it's like I always root for them because a lot of my homies is Raider fans.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
I hope good things do happen for y'all.
Me too. All right, let's step right over to, man, we still don't have no song for this.
The new segment?
Yeah. All right, so
I got one. Lovers and friends. Tell me again, can we be lovers and friends?
The finger?
I gotta know, baby. Please tell your lovers and friends that Usher, John, and Luda had to do it again. Hey! Please tell your lovers and friends. Let's go to this Lovers Corner with Big Nasty and Raisinett. Gotta have Luda here some way, somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Luda, just come on the show. And get
the
I will be your guest. I will give you my chair so this man can have this moment, and I will literally hold the camera so y'all can do the segment.
I would like for you to leave the room, actually. Felt like my alone time.
Like I'm making you guys sandwiches. But yeah, so
I was just saying, like, just do like a quick preamble. Because like we still do not have a title for this segment. Like that is a working song for it.
We landed on Heavyweight Lovers, but it's not solid.
It's out there. It's a play on. It's a play on the heavy D's overweight lover.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that we did settle on is because like we did get a lot of reactions about the segment and like talking about dating and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We are both obviously on very opposite ends of the spectrum,
mm-hmm.
where it's like, you know, you've been married for over 15 years. I was like, I'm very much single.
16.
I said over 15, so yeah, that would be 16, right? Stop talking. No, but
okay.
So we decided to split up the episodes where it's like, you know, like every Tuesday, like I would tackle the more dating side topics, and then like you will handle the more relationship side of the topics, and like, you know, try to bring your perspective or like things that you are noticing in your community a little bit more, stuff like that. So with this being the first week of your topic, you brought up, would you bring it to the table?
Yeah, so one of the things that I often get asked, and as Joel said, I've been married over 15 years. It's been 16 years. I'll be 17 in June. But a lot
I was gonna get close enough for my brim touch your face, and I was like, let me let this man talk. I was like, I get mad when he stepped on me. I was like, let me not step on his segment. My fault.
As you continue to step,
I'm still stepping.
No, so I was just lemon pepper stepping. But no, you know, it's all good. But I always get asked two questions. So one is like, dang, you've been married over 17 years. How old are you? It's like, Yeah, me and my wife got married young. Sometimes when you know something is for you, you know it's for you. Why wait, right? And then the next thing is like, how do you get to almost 17 years of marriage? So I think there's a good and a bad about how you explain that. So I would say the good is that you're like, oh, you got to make sure it's a sacrifice. There's got to be love. There's got to be communication, and there's got to be understanding. But the bad part is like a lot of people hear those words, and
Sound
that's
good.
it sounds good. Like, how do you? What do those things actually look like in real life? It's like, how do you drive a car? Well, you put it in drive, and then you hit the gas, and the car goes. It's like, yeah, but there's a lot of other intricate pieces that leads to just driving a car, right? So
How do you execute?
exactly. So if I was to take one of those and just say, like, we'll say communication, right? So, like, what does communication look like in a marriage? So, just speaking from my own experience, I know everything is not going to work for everybody, but it's like if I tell my wife, like, hey, I don't like when you do this, it makes me upset or feel some type of way, right? And then I'm saying this is what upsets me. You collectively have to work on that to make sure that you're not doing that thing that's upsetting me. And if she says, I don't like when you do this, then I have to be empathetic enough to say, like, oh, what you're mad about is not even that serious. Well, it's serious to them. You know what I mean? So because it's serious to you and I'm saying I care about you, I'm going to openly work towards making sure that that's not happening. Even if I feel like it's not important, it's still an expression of how much I care about you and how much I love you because I'm putting forth the effort in something that is serious to you to make sure that we are ending up on the same page at the end of the day.
It sounds like it should be even easier if it's like this is something that's important to you and not important to me. If it's not important to me, then it should be very easy for me to change this thing to make it more accommodating towards you.
Yeah, but as
you
human beings, sometimes it's annoying to go the extra mile for someone else because sometimes we're only concerned with our own needs.
Yeah, because people always feel like, well, why do I got to do the extra stuff? Because if I'm doing the extra stuff, then that means that I need this. But you just said it didn't mean nothing to you.
Right. Because I've literally had conversations and with my wife, and she could come on the show and say the same thing. Like there have been times where I'm like, hey, you told me you didn't like when I did this, and I have worked towards that. I told you I did not like when you did this, and you have not worked towards that. We are not on the same page, so we still are having an issue of strife because you're getting what you want and I'm not getting what I want. I asked for something and I'm not getting what I asked. You asked for something and you're getting what you asked, you know? So sometimes you have to sit and reevaluate those things and say, all right, what am I not doing? All right, how can I go the extra mile for someone else? All right, it's like, it's a lot of taking away from yourself to gain more, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Like you have to put yourself aside to say, like, I'm
addition by subtraction.
Ooh, I like that. That's probably, yeah, definitely. You know, so you want to make sure that you're understanding by giving up something to someone, then it's adding to the substance of us growing together as one. And it just makes it that much easier not to just only live together and love each other, but to understand what the other person is feeling without them even saying something, or to know what you can do to make them smile or make them happy. Or in situations of when things are stressful, you know how to attack the tough conversation and address it and move on because it's something that you talked about, rather than just walking around the house mad and you're like, oh, I'm gonna cook a meal for the kids, but you getting takeout. Like, or I cook just enough for you not to get seconds. Like doing little petty stuff to show why you're mad, rather than just having the conversation and saying, you know what, this is where I'm at right now. How do we talk through this?
I think what people get like a little bit misconstrued, and it's like, I think it's more or less the expectations of it, is people feel like once, don't look at my drink. Don't look at my beverage. That joint is empty for a reason, and it's going to stay empty. Leave that alone. I am not sacrificing me for weed right now. But I think like when the ring gets put on the finger, like people think they're like, oh, okay. Like that's kind of a done deal. Like now we're married and it's kind of like a done deal. But it's like, no, like we are constantly moving and evolving as people. And as we move and evolve as people, especially when we're in a relationship, the me becomes the we. And it's like we start being us, or we start being you and you become us. And your needs and wants morph and change as well. So it's like your expectations on certain things are going to morph and change as well. And it's like you have to be malleable in that process. And you have to also be mindful that not everybody's evolution is at the same speed. So it's like you said, it's like this thing bothers me. I want you to fix it. That doesn't mean that like if we have an argument on Sunday about it, Monday you have to be doing this new thing. It's like, no, you need to be making constant strides there. But it's like, I have to understand that like this is now changing something that's fundamentally you. Mm-hmm. So now you have to, it's going to take a minute for this to either become a routine. And then like sometimes like it just might not fit. Like that might be the thing that just does not fit. Where it's like, listen, I've tried and I'm doing this to the best of my ability, but I just can't get to the level that you want me at. And it's like, you have to be able to have that sort of dialogue and that conversation. And if you're not comfortable having that conversation with your partner, they probably shouldn't be your partner.
Right. I think a lot of times, and I'm glad you brought that up, it's like a lot of times we get caught up in the ceremony of marriage and not in the sanctity of marriage. All right. We have to understand, like, as you grow, it's never going to feel like the celebration. Like, everybody loves parties. Everybody loves the wedding. Every day is not going to be the wedding. At some point, you have to understand today's not going to feel like a party. You know what I mean? Like, if you ask people who see weddings all the time, they may hate weddings. I may be the person who works at the place where your wedding is at, and I got to clean up all your mess and all your nastiness to make this place look presentable and pretty again for the next person who's coming in to get married.
There's nothing worse. Everybody loves a house party. Right. No one wants to host a house party.
Nobody wants to host a house party. You know what I mean? Because you know there's going to be some cleanup. We're always excited with what the party brings and the fun that happens with that, but we never want to look at the opportunities of growth from the cleanup situation.
You can have some pictures, by the way. I was just you can't have all of it.
You know what? This guy, man. But yeah, so appreciate you. So a lot of times we have to understand, like, there's going to be those moments where you have to sit down and say, all right, the party's over, we got to clean up some stuff. But in that cleaning up, you get to see things going from being a mess to being beautiful again. And the beautiful is always appreciated because of the cleaning up that you have to do. All right. And in that cleaning up, like, I know for me, like, sometimes my room gets messy, right? And I've been looking for something for a few days, and I clean my room, and that thing that I was no longer looking for is now in my hand. You know what I mean? So in that cleaning process, you're going to learn something that you thought you knew that you didn't know about your spouse. You're going to grow together and develop something new about each other that you didn't have before. So that cleaning process is super important. Don't always think that every single day of marriage has to be the party. Like, that cleanup process is important.
I think one of the things that, like, you kind of touched on before too, and it's like, we kind of breezed past a little bit, is like when you were talking about, like, you know, you're being mad and like you're being petty and stuff like that. It's like sometimes, like, we're so, especially like when it comes to like arguments or things like that, is like we either try to avoid this argument because we know it's going to be an argument and like you don't want to address things. But then like also like, I know I need to say this thing and it's going to hurt this person's feelings or like whatever it is. And I think another key is letting people feel their feelings. And it's like something that I've been having to, like, I'm such a like nurturer and like a caterer. It's like, I want you to like ignore the bad feelings, and I want you to like dance over them. But it's like, no, like sometimes like you need to feel your feelings and like get it out, so that way like you can then make progress. Because it's like, or otherwise it's going to be this thing that's blocking your vision constantly. Like, it's like, you don't have to walk around the house mad, but it's like, I need to understand that you are mad and let you be mad.
Right. So I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to think that it's cap, but like, once you master something, so working in the school, I'm sure you heard this before, people who worked around people in the school, like, whenever you're doing something, you're working towards mastery. And once you work towards mastering something, there shouldn't be an issue with that anymore, right? Me and my wife do not argue. I cannot remember the last time we had an argument, because we came to the conclusion and understanding that arguments happen because you're clearly not hearing the side of the other person.
Y'all make sure y'all very heard.
And out of the frustration, that's how arguments happen, because you're trying to explain yourself. The person's clearly not listening or understanding where you're coming from. And that's where the frustration happens, when they say something that further leads you to believe that they're not listening or understanding, which leads to elevated tones and voice, which leads to aggravation, which leads to a conversation that turns into an argument that ends up going nowhere, and you end up having to have a real conversation later when you're calm, because this one did not work out. So we're at a level where we understand where each other are, what our frustrations are, where we lack and where we are strong, and understanding, like, you're doing this to help me, I'm doing this to help you. Like, we do not agree on this. How do we get on the same page about it? Like we literally talk about tough situations like it belongs to someone else. And then we apply it to our lives and we keep it moving. Like there's no yelling. You can ask our children. Like they've never heard us yell and scream and go at each other, slamming doors and none of that extra stuff. It's unhealthy, not just for the relationship, but for the family in an entirety. And when you get on a level of where you can understand one another and know where you're coming from, there should never be an argument or a dispute that doesn't look like a just respectful disagreement that you get past together.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like the whole point of an argument and stuff like that is because you want to be heard.
Right.
And it's like, like it's hard. It's more frustrating when you're trying to be heard and that person's not listening.
Right.
And stuff like that. So yeah, respectful conversation like that. Was that the big thing? You dropped a lot of gems in there.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. There was quite a few. There was one point I was going to do this, but I knew it would have distracted you from your point that you were trying to get out. So I was letting you get it out.
I gotta find a little emoji hands so I could start clipping them in the settings.
I was going to be like,
You're playing flute?
Yeah. Andre 3000 this thing.
Oh man, but yeah, just I know that's a lot.
It is a lot.
And so
I think by no means are we saying that any of this is easy.
No.
So like it's like the whole, like everything is work.
Yes.
And I think that's another thing that people forget about too, is like all relationships in any way, shape, or form is work. Right. All like marriage is work. Right. Dating is work. And it's like you only get what you put into it.
Right. So one thing that I tell people is that all right, so I'm trying to get this analogy that I've used with several people. All right, so hopefully it's fire for you, because I know sometimes you'd be like, where are you leaving me at? All right, so this is a lot, right? You can't work towards mastery and everything at one time. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work that way. Because what's going to happen is you're going to give 20% to all these different things that you're trying to do, and they're all going to fall flat on their face. You could only do one. Now, you should only, I won't say you can only, you should only try to do one thing at a time. Because once you've mastered that, you can move on to the next thing, knowing that you don't have to worry about this problem again. And the analogy that I liken that to, which is my own, I didn't get this from nowhere else, is that
so this is a homegrown, original, owned raisin.
I'm gonna throw this into the Raisinett too. So it's just like we're gonna go right into it. All right, you can only remodel one room at a time in a house. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like and I'm not a home improvement guy. Shout out to Whitley's Home Improvement. You know what I mean? Bang. Shout out right there. But when you're remodeling a house, you're saying, I want my kitchen to look this way. I want my living room to look this way. I want the bedroom to look this way. I want the basement to look this way, because they all don't look the way I want them to look. If you're running around the house doing all these different rooms at the same time, what's going to happen is ideas from the kitchen are going to merge with the living room, that are going to merge with the basement, and none of the places are going to feel like what they're supposed to feel like, because it's too much. Is it convolution? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's convoluted.
Yes, it's convoluted. All right. So what you have to do is you have to strictly work on the one room. Focus. And once that room looks the way you want it to look, then you can move on to the next room, knowing that when you come back into that room, it's the sanctuary you want it to be, and you want every other place to be its own sanctuary that often comes together as one to make a home setting being your marriage.
That was a pretty fire analogy. I felt like he was like in your bag for the last like 15, 20 minutes.
I apologize.
No, what are you apologizing for? Like, I like to see you in your bag. Like, no, that's the part of our relationship, right? It's like, I let you flourish. Like, I let you be. And it's like, yeah, like how good did that feel getting that off your chest?
I mean, I love sharing it with other people, man. The more
you spend, the more you see.
the more we can see it. So ultimately, I'm a community guy. And
careful.
Stop it. But it's like a lot of the stuff that we talk about is like when we talk about kids and like them making bad decisions, is because the home setting looks a certain way, or the absence of a mother, or the absence of a father, or seeing healthy relationships. Like the more we can do that as adults or as married or dating individuals, the more we are giving that roadmap to other kids who are going to become young adults, who are going to become adults, who are looking or probably pursuing that same thing. And the more healthy relationships you build, the more health you build for people making sound decisions, which ultimately affects not just the home, but the community that the homes are in. And it comes full circle.
Yeah, because I mean, the phrase is it takes a village, right? And like all you're doing is trying to rebuild the village like one house at a time. And it's like, if we can do that, we're trying to do our part in the village. You know what I mean?
I remember being in a men's group one time, and this was years ago, and we had a teenager in the group, and he was asked a question. He was like, hey, how do you feel when you see your mom and dad smiling with each other and kissing each other and stuff like that? So of course he's a teenager. He was like, it's gross. But then he was like, it just, I don't know. He was just like, seeing them together makes me feel like I'm appreciated, like I'm loved, and like I have an opportunity in life to have something like what they had, you know? So whether we think so or not, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us understand, like they're always watching, you know, and what they see from you, whether you're doing it purposely or not, like some of that stuff is going to come up in their relationships and in their life because this is what they've grown up around. And if you don't want to see your kids struggling with like arguing or not holding a relationship, or things become abusive, things become toxic, you have to look back and say, well, what have they seen as a representation? So straight like that.
Damn, homie.
In high school, you was the man, homie.
So that was a combo with the Raisinett. I feel like you making me have to step my game up, like when it comes to mine. Because I feel like you went to, like the bar was up here.
I told you before, like we may not want to open this relationship bag, man.
Because this spot is just going to become that.
I don't want it to become that, and I also know that I can go off on a tangent sometimes.
I mean, literally, I go off on tangents like all day long about anything. You talk to me about James Harden, I'm gonna go off on a tangent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't bring up Kobe and Michael around me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, at least it's a positive thing that we're having. And like sometimes, like some people are dealing with this stuff like right now, and like sometimes you just never know when certain things will hit certain people, and sometimes it's just the right thing that somebody needs to hear. Because like, and we didn't get into it now, and it's like, it's a tough thing to get into because like we're so used to like this age, the perception is nobody wants to work on things. Once this is not working, I want to move on to the next thing. You're not doing this, like I need to go. And like, I think it's important for people to know, or to like at least figure out themselves, is what are my boundaries, and like what is like my limit on things. It's like if I'm giving you the opportunity to change these things and you're not, then it's time for me to go. Not like you are not these things that I need, so like I need to go find someone that is. Like you have to give people the opportunity, if they deserve the opportunity, to be these things. And it's like that's a tough call to make, and it's like you really kind of have to be very disciplined in order to do that. And it's like a lot of people don't have that, but it's like these are very, 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 very big and very, very key things to having a successful and healthy relationship.
Keyword healthy.
Yeah. Do you have a cultural gem?
Of course I do.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Oh, and I want to say, there are people watching this pod that aren't telling us that they're watching this pod.
Why you say that?
Because we brought up White Man Can't Jump last week. And then,
I've been telling you they listening to me.
Out of nowhere, somebody sends me a post. Jack Harlow is playing Billy Hoyle in a reboot of White Man Can't Jump.
Do we want to take a second to talk about that?
No.
You don't even want to. All right.
So I want to wait.
All right.
I want to wait till whenever it happens. Because I feel very strong.
At least until we get a trailer?
At least until we get a trailer. Because I feel very strongly about things from my era being destroyed because we're trying to remake stuff rather than just being original.
You're saying that you don't want to speak on it, but it sounds like you're kind of speaking on it.
All right, we'll wait.
I'm just asking.
We'll wait. No, because I'll add 20 more minutes to the show.
It's your platform. If you want to speak on it,
I'll add 20 more minutes to the show. We'll wait for the trailer.
Okay.
Just know, I know y'all watching because we brought up White Man Can't Jump, and now all of a sudden Jack Harlow's in a reboot. I'm just saying.
You're just saying that like you're skeptical. At least
I am. I'm always skeptical.
Yeah.
And until it proves to be what it is, I'm going to continue to be that.
Yeah.
All right. There have been some successes and there have been some great failures. There's been more failures than success.
Absolutely.
Bang bang. All right. So this week I'm going super old Goldie.
Okay.
Super old Goldie. I'm talking about
like we were still twinkle in our father's eye type of what you call it, like oldie, like before our time.
No, it's definitely it's my time.
Okay.
You might have been a twinkle. or you might have just got twinkled out. that was crazy. That felt dirty.
I almost ended up in McDonald's now. Like, here I am giving you content.
I should have opened the door. All right, so
you're gonna leave the door open.
For those who may not know, man, but my man Lee walked into a room one time like, yo, My man Ramo is making me the baddest sweatshirt, man. On one side, it's gonna have my name, and on the other side, it's gonna have swervy lines. And when I do my backspin, it's gonna be incredible, man. The baddest. And I'm talking about none other than Beat Street. It's like a heartbeat. Beat Street. It's like a heartbeat. I'm talking about Beat Street.
I don't think I've seen Beat Street.
No one said it'd be easy. People never treat you like they should. You got to get up and go for it yourself because you knew that you always would. I'm sorry, because I know the whole song.
I don't think I've seen Beat Street since like the early 90s. It's been quite some
time.
And
you was late watching it then.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's when I could first understand what movies are. Like,
yo, listen, man. I was watching that. I think I might have been 8. Let me see when it came out. So
you don't got the details on it? I thought you was gonna have the whole smorgasbord.
It's not hard. It came out in 1984.
That is 4 years before I was born.
Yeah. So I might have watched it with my cousins for the first time in 89. It was already 5 years old and it felt like a classic when I watched it. For cast and crew, we're gonna go with. I know y'all not gonna know none of these people, but they are iconic.
None of them.
You got Guy Davis. You got Ray Dong Chong. You have Robert Taylor who played Lee. You have African Bombada. You got Mary Alice, Dwayne Jones, Leon Grant, Sean Elliott, Kadeem Hardison, Kumo D, Sandra Santiago, Melly Mel, Dougie Fresh, Kool Herc. Like it goes on and on. It goes on and on. So just to give you the basis for y'all who may be rookies to this, B Street was in a time and era in New York where kids was not shooting and fighting each other every day. When they had beef, they was breakdancing. And it was like, if my crew was better than yours, then y'all was some suckers and y'all was some punks. That's when them words meant a lot. Like,
I feel like they're making a comeback now because remember I told you about Goofy.
Right.
Goofy now is the new like.
Right.
What you say?
There's a scene in the movie where the dude was like, "You bit my moves." He was like, "I ain't never bit no moves from you. So what's up with that, punk?" And when he said punk, it was like, "Oh,
whoa!" It's like, they about to. Dude
was like, "Yo." He was like, "Yo, we gotta settle this at the Roxy." It's like dance battle at the Roxy, bro. It's just like, but there was 2 breakdancing crews. Ironically, one wore blue, one wore red. We know how that goes. But it wasn't like a gang initiated thing. It was just literally like it was a mutual respect. It was almost like if we're gonna fight, but then we're gonna squash it afterwards. You know what I mean? And it was it shows the up and downs and trials and tribulations of like growing up in the hood and like the things that inspire you to want to be greater and the things that we attach ourselves to that all intricately are connected to one another to make the community that we live and grow up in. Man, but dope movie.
This was
and
like
I wouldn't be ashamed if Beat Street led you to Breaking.
I was getting there. It sounds like I feel like a lot like Crush Groove.
Yep.
Breaking, and then of course Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yep.
I feel like all these movies kind of get lumped in as one, and I think Beat Street is definitely the one I've seen the least. Oof. I think Crush Groove is one.
Have you seen it though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You did say you've seen it.
Yeah. Like Crush Groove is definitely the one that like I've seen the most out of all of
them. Spoiler alert: Biggie Smalls definitely uses Beat Street. Excuse me, in one of his rhymes, and he does spoil one of the scenes, so you'll see it.
Which rhyme or which song?
No, I'm not gonna tell. Because I want them to be able to see the
scene.
Is
that the trivia question?
You find out what song it is and how big you use the line, you get a shirt. I'm with it. I'm
just giving out shirts like they candy, bro.
Hey, I mean, we gotta get rid of the last few joints, man, so we get this new stock in, man. Man. You know who the true and loyal is. All right. But yeah, it's a good show. Beat Street came out in 1984. You can watch it on YouTube. You can definitely watch it on Amazon Prime and Vudu. As always.
Do we need to start investing in Vudu? Because like apparently every movie is on this app.
I mean, we're gonna find out. Vudu, hit us up, man. We'll give you a subscription, throw a little commercial in there for you, right?
I will definitely start rocking a Vudu t-shirts and stuff like that.
Real quick, a little cat, little Scully or something.
I'll what you call
scruff it in your beard.
Yeah, beard, that Vudu in there. They dropping them checks. Like, yeah, I do what I gotta do.
Look like Dame Letter Voodoo's got live TV.
Yeah, 100%.
Word, but yeah, that's.
I think every other word that I say is like, "Welcome to Voodoo, Heavyweight Voodoo Bros." You know what I'm saying? It's your boy, the diabolical Voodoo, diabetic Voodoo.
This plate of food was good. It did the voodoo on my belly. But yeah, that's where we at with it, man. We got Beat Street for our cultural agenda this week. All right. Anything else?
I know you already dropped your Raisinett. I didn't know if you had anything else that you wanted to drop.
Nah, man, I'm good, man.
The last thing that I had was just a little bit of housekeeping that we mentioned it earlier. Because I will not be in town, I thought about like us doing it over Zoom, and you were kind of like not really with it. And then I was like, I'm also on the middle of a vacation anyways. I shouldn't whatchamacallit.
Right.
So like we're going to miss only one pod, right?
One pod.
We're gonna miss one pod. So like we'll be back the following Tuesday for our next episode. Like I said, I will have the Batman, my Batman review ready for you guys. That'll be kind of like the big thing we're centered around because like we're in the part now where we're in the sea of shows that are in the middle of things. So like maybe obviously I'll watch Snowfall, I'll watch Bel Air, and like we can kind of like deep dive into recent episodes.
Yeah, that works.
Because like I don't think we're gonna be watching anything new.
I forgot.
I should be done with Barry too. I'm almost done with Barry as it is.
There you go. And I forgot. Chapelle has a new special on Netflix. So if you're looking for something to watch, I don't know how often the episodes are gonna come, but Chapelle has something called Chapelle's Team on Netflix, where I think he's going to be introducing iconic comics that he likes and listens to or has a relationship with. And he already has one episode out. It's about 30 minutes long. And if the first feature is Earthquake.
Whoa, that's his first one?
Yes.
Because like
so that's what you're starting with. Yeah. I can only imagine how fire this is gonna get because Earthquake kills it. I already watched the first episode. Earthquake kills it.
That's a comic view staple.
Kills it.
Earthquake
kills it.
Man, what has he been up to? Like, how is he not? How is Earthquake not bigger?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Like when he was up there on the stage, it felt like Bernie. It felt Bernie-esque.
That was a hell of a name.
It felt Bernie Mac-esque. Like when and I don't want people to be like, oh, he's trying to be like Bernie. No, like he's an OG comic type of style, and it was it felt reminiscent of watching Bernie Mac. Like he killed it up.
That's a hell of a compliment.
Yeah,
I think Bernie Mac is like one of the goats.
Oh yeah, you gonna tell me?
That's your Bernie impression? That's okay.
I think I'll never do an impression.
I was excited. I was like, keep going.
You're gonna try to tell me how to
Can I get a Jordan?
You're trying to tell me how to pop. No, Jordan's like all squeaky voice.
No, what I'm saying is like, what is like, Jordan? Oh, I thought you were gonna get like one of those.
Him downstairs. Some guy I got no name.
Not a baby girl. You don't got a baby girl. America.
No, I don't want to do too much, man. Bernie's iconic, man. I can't live up to it.
I did real quickly, like another housekeeping thing, because like I felt like I've been asked. I don't know if you've been asked, but people asked us if we were gonna touch on this Ukraine-Russia situation, and like we talked about it very briefly. And to me, I feel like I'm very uninformed about it, and like I don't want to give an uninformed opinion about it. So like we kind of just decided to like kind of take a couple steps back. We're gonna kind of let it play out the way it is. But like anytime that there's like a large loss of life, it's awful. Right. Like there's nothing else to say about it. Like, you know, people are making memes and stuff like that. And like people do the jokes about like the World War III, but it's like there are people who are not seeing tomorrow because of the situation. And it's like it looks ugly. And it's like we know how the news is now, where we're depending on what you're watching, like the news is going to be biased in a certain way. So like I said, I would like to have all of my bases covered before like I give some sort of thought piece or anything on it. So like to me, I was going to let it lay where it lay.
Yeah, and there's some ugly stuff starting to come out as well. And I just, until you have all the facts around, I really don't want to speak about it because I'm on the fence about it right now. Like, not the war in general, but just like the way things are happening in Ukraine. I've seen a disgusting video of like a group of African Americans not being allowed on a train to get out of the country is like because they weren't considered Ukrainians because they are Black. And it was just like, and that may not even be what it is, but that's how it was portrayed there. It was portrayed. So that rather than us have the hot take on of one video, because you could easily just say like you're not extending the same courtesy of safety that you want people to give to you, but you don't know where the basis of all that is coming from. And I just, like you said, we don't have enough information.
All right. So that's all I had. Lovers and friends. Tell me again, we'll be lovers and friends. Oh, it's a good look, baby. Sometimes I want to be your lover. Sometimes I want to be your friend.
When's Ludacris coming?
That's me doing it right now.